Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Let's take a deep breath in and let that go. Settle down your central nervous system. Allow your mind and your body to relax. Call in infinite intelligence, Holy Spirit, your internal guidance system. Notice when you're relaxed, you hear messages from your intuition, from your internal guidance system. You know what is the right thing to do. You don't have to ask anyone else. You don't have to check in with another person because you're guided when you're quiet, you're calm, you're relaxed. You let go. Your intuition will guide you. Thomas Troward wrote a book called The Hidden Power, and in chapter 7, he talks about the principle of guidance. He says, if I were asked which of all the spiritual principles ranked first, I should feel inclined to say the principle of guidance, not in the sense of being more essential than the others, for every portion is equally essential to the completeness of a perfect whole, but in the sense of being first in order of sequence and giving value to all our other powers by placing them in their due relation to one another. Giving value to our other powers, I say, because this is also one of our powers. It is that which, judged or observed from the point of view of the unity of all spirit, is part and parcel of ourselves, because it is the infinite mind which is of necessity identified with all its manifestations. He's saying, be guided by the Spirit. There is spiritual energy that is flowing to and through you. If you're a religious person, you may have heard that God is always with you. He's always in you. He's beside you. He's working through you. You may have believed that God is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, that He is everywhere in everything. That means He's also in you. And you can tap into that source energy, that divine guiding light, and ask infinite intelligence, ask your soul, ask your higher self, what is the right thing to do in this situation? Don't let the outside, the incidental, the problem control your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Ask for guidance. There is all powerful, all knowing inside of yourself. Looking to this infinite mind as a superior intelligence from which we may receive guidance does not imply looking to an external source. On the contrary, it is looking to the innermost spring of our own being with a confidence in its action which enables us to proceed to the execution of our plans with a firmness and assurance that are in themselves the very guarantee of our success. Spirit always expresses itself, always perfectly. You will feel it. You will just know. The power is inside of you. Don't look to the outside world for the answers. You just know what's the right thing to do for you. You will feel it. the action of the spiritual principles in us follows the order which we impose upon them by our thought. Therefore, the order of realization will reproduce the order of desire. And if we neglect this first principle of right order and guidance, we shall find ourselves beginning to put forth other great powers which are at present latent within us without knowing how to find suitable employment for them, which would be a very perilous condition. For without having before us objects worthy of the powers to which we awake, we should waste them on petty purposes dictated only by the narrow range of our unilluminated intellect. If you don't know what you want, if you don't have a purpose, a desire, a goal, then you're just going to settle for whatever comes along and do it, whatever crisis is placed in front of you. You first must have a deep desire. Do you want peace and love in your family? Do you want purposeful work? Do you want wealth so that you can live a more abundant life and give more generously to your charities, your church, your family, others less fortunate than you? Maybe you want to be an angel investor. Maybe you just want to be able to breathe and know that you're always taken care of. You don't have to worry where the next dollar is coming from. You don't have to worry where the answer to your problem is coming from. When you have a beautiful, big, audacious goal, a purpose, something that you desire with all your heart, and you spend time in that energy, I'm already there, I'm already that, I am who I'm meant to be. The answers flow to you from inside of you. Ask for what you want, and then sit quietly and listen for the answer. Allow the answer to come to you. The power is inside of you. Your intuition will always lead you in the right direction. When you ask a question, the first idea that comes to you is your internal guidance system, your intuition, the voice of God speaking to you. And then everything that comes after that is your paradigm, your logic, your reasoning mind trying to give you all the pros and cons and talk you out of what you really want. Thomas Troward says, therefore, the ancient wisdom, King Solomon said, with all thy getting, get understanding. Allow that power always flowing, tapping into that and listening for the answer from your own heart. Troward says the awakening to consciousness of our mysterious interior powers will sooner or later take place and will result in our using them whether we understand the law of their development or not, just as we already use our physical faculties whether we understand their laws or not. You don't need to understand gravity to realize that if you're on the roof and you're not paying attention and you walk to the edge, you can easily fall off, no matter how good a person you are. Well, the laws of the universe work the same way. The laws of the universe say whatever you focus on, whatever you give loving attention to, and know in your heart that it's yours, what it would feel like it must manifest into reality. The law of cause and effect, the law of vibrational energy, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, they all tell us that what you focus on grows. What you give your emotional energy to becomes bigger and bigger and bigger in your life. Are you giving energy to stress and anxiety and what you don't want? Or are you breathing and relaxing and letting go of the outcome and tapping into your internal guidance system and allowing God, Holy Spirit, infinite intelligence, your intuition to work through you? When you embody your goal, when you are thinking, feeling, and acting as if you already are the person that has the goal, it has to show up. That's how the laws work. Tap into universal intelligence that comes through study and raising awareness. You have been gifted with perception, reason, will, imagination, intuition, and memory. Trust that what you desire is on its way to you. But you have to be congruent, in alignment, thinking, feeling, and acting from the end result, from already being calm, peaceful, wealthy, respected, living in a beautiful, healthy body. Whatever it is you desire, it's yours when you spend more time in alignment in that energy than looking for it on the outside. Troward says the interior powers are natural powers as much as the exterior our sensory factors are. We can direct their use by a knowledge of their laws, and it is therefore of the highest importance to have some sound principle of guidance in the use of these higher faculties as they begin to manifest themselves. How am I going to do this? The answer is already inside of you. Spend more time getting quiet and still, being in the receptive state, using your intuition. The true real is in the mind. You have it inside of you. The answer comes in the form of feeling. If you ask a question and you get an answer and it feels good, it feels right, maybe it's a little bit big or scary because you've never done it before. And then everything after that comes in. Well, what if it doesn't work? What if it causes more problems? What if this? What if that? Those what ifs, write them down. Ask for guidance. Ask your higher self. If you were already the person that you want to be, already in alignment with your goal, already at the destination, would you be asking those questions? You would already be doing it. You would already have your answer. Universal intelligence gives you the feeling to do something, and then your human mind will talk you out of it. That's where the paradigms live. What if it works? You must be in the feeling that you are worthy of receiving the health that you desire. If you were already healthy, you wouldn't be worried about your health. If you were already wealthy, you wouldn't be focusing on debt. If you were already at peace and relaxed and knowing that God is taking care of you, you wouldn't be stressed and running around worried about the current situation. Troward says, if therefore we would safely and profitably enter upon the possession of the great inheritance of power that is opening out before us, we must, before all things, seek to realize in ourselves that superior intelligence which will become an unfailing principle of guidance if we will only recognize it as such. Everything depends on our recognition. Thoughts are things, and therefore, as we will our thoughts to be, so we will the thing to be. Create it in your own mind, and then, if then we will to use the infinite spirit as a spirit of guidance, we shall find that the fact is as we have willed it. And in doing this, we are still making use of our own supreme principle. And this is the true understanding, which, by placing all the other powers in their correct order, creates one grand unity of power directed to clearly defined and worthy aims, in place of the dispersion of our powers, by which they only neutralize each other and affect nothing. You hold the beautiful picture in your mind, using your will, directing your powerful energy to that which you desire. Peace, loving relationships, all the time and money freedom that you have to enjoy your heart's desire. Health, abundance, richly blessed in every area of your life. This is that spirit of truth which shall guide us into all truth. It is the sincere desire of us reaching out after truth. Truth first and power afterwards is the reasonable order which we cannot invert without injury to ourselves and others. But if we follow this order, we shall always find scope for our powers in developing into present realities the continually growing glory of our vision of the ideal. The ideal is the true real. Love is resonance. When you do everything with love, everything will work out for the highest good of all concerned. Love is the law of vibrational energy. Troward says the ideal is the true real, but it must be brought into manifestation before it can be shown to be so. And it is in this that the practical nature of our mental studies consists. It is the practical mystic who is the man of power. The man who, realizing the mystical powers within, fits his outward action to this knowledge, and so shows his faith by his works. And assuredly, the first step is to make use of that power of infallible guidance, which he can call to his aid simply by desiring to be led by it. What is it that you deeply desire? When you feel that it's already done, then it shows up in your physical results. You can't look at the outside world and say, where is it? It's not here yet. How is it coming? Why isn't it here? What am I supposed to do now? You have to build the picture of what you want. Ask God, ask your internal guidance system, ask Spirit. The feeling as if it's already done. Feeling is conscious awareness. That's your intuition speaking to you. The physical proof shows up after you are already in the feeling as if you already have what you want. The love, the health, the wealth, the relationships, the purpose, whatever you desire comes after you feel that it's done. Ask and it is given. You must feel worthy of receiving. You must be in the state of being that which you desire. The answer is already inside of you. That's why it's so important to take the time to design a goal, to write the script of what you want, who you are being when your desire has come into your experience, when it's your physical proof, when the outside world reflects your inner world. The outside always reflects what's going on inside of you. When you look to the outside, you're holding up a mirror. What is going on inside of you? There's going to be days that the world seems absolutely crazy. And the more you focus on that, the more you listen to the news, the more you look at your results. That's proof of what you've been thinking, feeling, and doing up until now. So the most important thing you can do is use your studies. Decide what it is that you want more than anything and write it down. And write it down as if it's already done. It's not in the future. I want this to happen and I hope it happens by December 31st. It is, I am so happy and grateful now that my health is perfect. I have all the money I need to do what I want when I want. I have close, loving relationships. What does that feel like to be the truth? Your physical experience shows up after you believe it. I know the world says seeing is believing, but the opposite is true. When you believe it to be true, then you will see it show up in your life. And of course, life is an ongoing journey. It's a process. There will be things that you desire that you believe they're true for you, and they're not here yet. Thank goodness there isn't instant manifestation, because there are times we think we want something, and if we instantly manifested it, it would absolutely destroy us because we're not ready for it. Direct your focus inward, because the outside world will reflect back to you what you've been thinking about. There is a spirit of guidance, and when you hold the picture, when you have an image in your head, when you're thinking about what you want and you're writing about it, you're holding it in your heart. That is a powerful bridge in harmony with the universe. The outside world is incidental. It becomes the result of your actions. There's a cause and effect. The inside of you is the essential. The outside is the incidental. You have the essential is the idea that you hold in your mind, and you think what it's like, what it would be like to be there, to be that, to do that, how wonderful it would be. You write about it and feel it. Feeling is the secret. The most important thing you can do is feel as if you are calm. Feel as if you are abundantly blessed. Feel what it's like to be healthy, wealthy, wise, purposeful, whatever it is you want. It could be material things like a new home, but then you imagine what it's like to be sleeping in the bed in that home, doing dishes in the kitchen in that house. What it is you desire, be there in your imagination and hold it in your heart. You will get ideas. That's when you follow your impulse. When you are in the relaxed state, asking your higher guidance system, looking back, you will see how you got there. Pay attention to what you're doing. Ask, is there a better way to do this? How can I do more with less effort? If a stranger was looking at your goal card, would they see the picture in their minds of what you desire? We can't criticize or ridicule what we don't understand. Other people won't understand what your dream is, but it's fine if they don't agree. Is there a better way? Am I serving my highest good? Am I serving from my heart? The outside always reflects what you've been thinking, feeling, and doing. So stay in the practice, stay in the study, keep getting better. Take time to write your goal every single day. Spend 5 minutes already being at the destination. And then let go of the how, because how is none of your business. Only what you truly desire. Visualize it. Be that as much as possible. Focus on what you really want, and then get on with your day. This is a practice, and some days you will see chaos, but the more you stay in this practice, the less chaos will show up, and the more you will realize what you truly desire is already in your life. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. And for my clients, we're going to talk about leaving everyone feeling better off for just having known you. Leaving everyone with the impression of increase at 9 o'clock. See you soon. Love you.